All right, welcome back to Two Stupid Guys Trade Stocks. I'm Vinny.
I'm Dylan. Today we are doing kind of a two-parter of our other video, the bull case and bear case of Intel, which my bear case was essentially AMD's awesome. So they just reported earnings. We're going to go into why I'm right. Yeah. And then, why I made the right call.
Perfect. All right, guys. You guys enjoy this kind of entertaining stock market content, please consider giving us a like and subscribe below. We greatly appreciate having you guys here. With that, we'll get to it.
Two Stupid Guys Trade Stocks.
Makes me laugh every time.
Yeah, that's great. I love it.
All right. So, Intel, Big Blue, right? $18 billion in freaking sales last quarter. That's pretty impressive, you know?
It's a big number.
$1 billion, yeah. They beat their own guidance by $700 million, Whoops, a little extra $700 million. Their gross margin, 59.2%. Yeah, it's a pretty sexy number, isn't it?
It is pretty good.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that in a second here. But you notice that their revenue is up 2%, but their EPS is up 12%. It's kind of weird, huh?
Well, that's because their shares decreased, and so yeah.
This is what happens when a company actually cares about their shareholders and like buys their shares back.
Well, I think so one, AMD did that with 3.2 million shares. Two, I think it also matters that if they care, they'd also put out better products, but we'll get there. That's fine.
Yeah. I love it. All right. So the real negative story about Intel and reason why they fell after reporting these earnings is that they are expecting gross margin to contract down to about 53% for Q3 of 2021. Okay. Just to get that out of there. So this is like their major segment. This is selling computer graphic chips for not graphics. I'm sorry. Processors for consumers. And this was the number one segment. It was up relatively decently in terms of year over year. Quarter over quarter down slightly, but coming off the beginning of 2021, where COVID was still very much in the news. We'll see what happens with COVID and Delta variant going forward here. But they did have a nice kind of pick up here in margin as well, which was part of what carried them forward to that 59% overall gross margin. Data center, this is not a great story for them per se right now. A lot of competition. I know Epic and AMD. Dylan's going to talk about that a little bit here. But the unfortunate thing you're seeing here is look at the margin is contracted quite a bit from 44 to 30%. Now, part of this is the fact that Intel has launched some new chips. And when new chips first come out, they're not as profitable. Over time, the company will learn to make them at a more cost-effective manner, and the margins should kind of open back up. But you are seeing definitely increasing competition and pressure on that.
Yeah, you would think they would be able to make them cheaper.
Yeah, the real question is this going to be one of those things where it's a snake eating their own tail, where AMD and Intel chase each other for this business and then drive the operating margin down? Because if that happens, Intel is definitely in a position where they can bear that pain more than AMD can, because of their size.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's one point.
We'll get there.
Yeah, and then this was pretty. People would tell you Intel is on a whole company basis is not growing as fast as you'd like to see it. But they had a couple of smaller units. Granted, I know they're small, but this is the future of Intel that are putting up some pretty significant year-over-year increases. This Internet of Things group, 300% year-over-year, 300%. You ever think a unit at Intel was growing 300%? It was almost $1 billion of revenue in the quarter.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely impressive.
Yeah. And Mobileye, this other unit over here, 124% year over year. Mobileye's kind of big thing is that they're in the autonomous driving space. They had a really big announcement during this second quarter here of 2021, where they were selected by Toyota. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of them. Largest auto manufacturer in the world. Actually picked Mobileye to be their partner for their next generation driver assistance suite and software.
Well, that's just for now. For now. As soon as they realize that Intel chips are significantly slower than everyone else, they'll be like, man, this was a bad call.
Sure. I mean, actually, the Mobileye is on a 7-nanometer process of its own anyways already by now, in case you're curious.
Oh, well, AMD is going to 5.
Yeah, no, it's all good. And then Mobileye also was given the only autonomous driving vehicle testing permit in New York City. Yeah, they're the only ones. So I thought that was pretty impressive. And Dylan's going to talk to us a little bit about Google Cloud going with AMD here, but during this quarter right here, Intel was also able to secure deals here with Alibaba, Baidu, Microsoft, Oracle. And Google's nice, but would you rather have 4 different companies in the cloud space?
Well, one, those aren't primary services, and they're only using them. They're using all because AMD has those as well. It's Google Cloud went like exclusively like, oh my gosh, your chips are 56% better. Okay, fine. Yeah, big difference.
Going to take them like 5 years to fully transition over. We'll see what happens.
Okay. All right.
The other thing, Intel is definitely all on making the fabs these days. So they announced another $3.5 billion investment in Intel's New Mexico fab production facility there. And on top of the $20 billion they're putting into Arizona already.
Right. Okay.
So briefly, this is my Intel position. Before earnings, I had started selling cash secured puts against them at $55 strike. I did that once, collected $46 in premium. I rolled that, knowing that there was earnings coming up. I collected $1.16. With much more higher premium because of earnings. That gave me a break-even price of $53.38. As of Friday, Intel closed at $53.72, although I was forced to buy the shares at $55 because of the premium I had received from those 2 previous put contracts. My cost basis is actually a little bit lower than the closing price. So ultimately, I bought Intel and saved $34 if you think about it that way.
Oh, until like the next couple of weeks where they're like $48 a share. But yeah, that does work.
I'm going to sell a covered call against them on Monday anyways.
That'd be smart.
Yeah, I'm going to keep generating some more revenue. And then they're going to start paying me dividends too.
That's the only way that you can make money on an Intel position. So
no, share buybacks. That's the trick, my man.
Makes sense. Obviously everyone knows I'm not a big Intel person. I think it's a big bloated company that just continuously does terrible. And it's pretty funny. I feel like in the comments on our Intel bull bear video, which the bear case was essentially me saying NVIDIA and AMD are just too good now. Yeah. I'm going to say that you probably won in the comments. I'm going to say that more people were like, I'm going to go Intel. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, it's really the big difference is I like to make money. So it's really weird. I'm not going to bore you guys all these numbers. I feel like AMD has 100% growth every quarter. So, this quarter is no different. Record revenue, $385 billion, up 99% year over year. The more impressive number to me is 12% quarter over quarter, to be honest. That's pretty wild. I'll leave this here, but operating income, $831 million. Operating margin, 22%. And yada, all this stuff. And more importantly, share repurchase, 3.2 million shares. They have another $3.7 billion going to throw at the share purchase program. So Vinny's point is just it just doesn't make any sense. AMD is doing it too. They are just starting, but they're doing it too.
But the difference is that AMD is doing it now that their stock price is high compared to Intel, who's been doing it for years consistently while their stock price has been low.
You could argue that AMD's is low right now and Intel's is high right now, depending on what happens in the future.
I don't know.
So there you go.
Think about it. They're selling, even this past quarter, Intel's revenue was like 5 times what AMD's was.
It's also percentage of growth. AMD is going parabolic. Go to the next slide for me.
Yeah.
So I'm just showing you revenue trends, staircase, right? This is something that Intel hasn't seen for 10 years.
True.
Gross margin trend up, we're up, yada, yada. I won't bore you. Go to the next one.
But the important thing, remember with the gross margin trend here is that Intel, even if they contract to 53%, is still going to be 5% more than AMD. And right now, Intel is 10% more in gross margin than
now.
Yeah.
For now. That's what happens when you stop making good chips and you just sit on your money. You are going to make more money if you just stop spending it. Right?
Or perhaps it's because of their vertical integration and the fact that they manufacture their own products and they don't have to pay for the massive profits for Taiwan Semiconductors like AMD does.
Actually, we're going to get to Taiwan Semiconductors because something interesting happened there in the call.
Okay.
So yeah, revenue up 100%, gross profit up 116%. Honestly, the year-over-year numbers are always crazy. The operating income was up 380%.
Yeah.
I'm honestly more impressed by the quarter-over-quarter numbers. The operating income being just in one quarter up 26%. Their net income up almost 30%. Absolutely crazy. Earnings per share is 29%, and they didn't buy back near as many shares. So
No, I will give you like this is very, very sexy and impressive growth.
it is.
Just
You want to know what's sexier?
what's that?
Go to the next slide. So, oh man, I thought it was a chart. It's the next one. Shoot. All right. Well, that would have been great. Here's the PR highlights. So I already talked about the share repurchasing. Tesla's using AMD embedded processors and GPUs in the new Model S and X. Valve announced their Stream Deck. Guess what? AMD makes every single chip for every console on the planet. Xbox, PS5, Valve. Well, that's not true. I don't think they do Nintendo, so take that back. Do they do Nintendo? They don't. I don't think
I have no idea.
Nintendo. I'm pretty sure they don't. AMD announced the new Advantage Design Framework, best-in-class game experiences to take market share from notebooks, which is previously a place.
Who games on a notebook?
Huh?
Who games on a notebook?
Hey, man, they're going to take market share from notebooks. It's going to happen. Also, it's called mobile gaming. It's the largest percentage growth gaming segment that there is. So, boom.
That's your iPhone.
Vinny doesn't game. No, that's
yeah.
No. The largest gaming segment that's increasing is mobile.
Yeah, iPhone.
Also, iPads.
Okay, I'm pretty sure laptops are part of this.
Notebooks.
Okay.
Anyways, Google Cloud using third-gen EPYC processors, they realized that they had 56% better performance than Intel, which is absolutely wild, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to get to the navigation of the chip shortage, but their Zen 4 5nm CPU is on track for next year. One thing that Vinny left out is that they pushed back their chip yet again, like another 3 months, because that's just what they do now. So
Intel? Yeah. Their next server chip now is like 2022.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like mid 2021, and then the new CEO is like, all right, maybe 2022, and now it's like mid 2022. So we'll get it by 2030 for sure.
Probably.
Half the world's newest and fastest supercomputers are now powered by EPYC. So the navigation of the chip shortage, basically what AMD is doing is, so they dominate at lower end CPUs for price, quality to Intel. It's not even close. So what they're doing is they are putting all their all their materials and everything they have to the higher end chips, which is why they keep on getting these giant increases in percentages, because they continuously take market share. As soon as this chip shortage is over, they can just go back, do everything that they always do with their low chips, which they've been doing for 10 years, get that market share back from Intel, and now they're just going to have everything, right? Also, there's the rumor going around that Lisa Su, who is my hero, she's amazing. That I don't know if there's like a secret partnership or something, because they're getting like extra supplies apparently from like Taiwan Semiconductor. They're not having near as much difficulty. They're not saying that they're gonna have to shrink all this stuff, whereas Tesla's like, chip shortage, we gotta push back our stuff. Apple even said it, right?
Yes, potential.
And AMD's like, we're good. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. It's $4 billion in revenue in a quarter. They can figure that part out.
Just wait.
Yeah.
This is how it starts.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
I don't, these just another bunch of numbers. What I want to focus on is the enterprise embedded and semi-custom. That's mostly essentially Xboxes, PS5s, which are not really contributing much to the sales due to them not really being made near as much. That giant 300% increase year over year, the one that Intel keeps blaming on digestion, that just people just don't want to buy chips, but not from them, from anyone. That's people buying AMD's server data center chips. So that's good.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. That definitely getting really competitive in the server market for sure, and then I know that has classically been like a large driver of profitability. It's not right now. For Intel, at least.
Before you go to the next slide, there's a big difference between me and everyone in the comments. I said it. I'm here to make money. I don't care if they make $40 million and that was it. If the whole market thinks that they're amazing, I'm in, right? Because I'm more technical analysis, not fundamentalist.
Yeah, you're more momentum trading.
So let's go to the next chart and see how my call did. Oh, whoa, that's weird. That's the quarter. What are we at here?
That is a nice little parabolic kind of shape right there.
Yeah, $77 to $106 in the quarter.
Yeah,
I bought a call for $670, sold it for I think it was $13.95.
nice. I mean that is a nice trade, and you called this one right, and they're certainly loved by the market right now. I completely understand that.
Yeah, let's look at Intel's. I'm just curious.
Yep.
Oh, weird.
Pretty much a little down and then flat.
Yeah, well, sloping downward though, but yeah,
downward sloping flat. I call this a little consolidation. What do you think?
I call that a consolidation to a point lower. I completely agree with you.
That's fine. But you know what? This entire time this thing was consolidating, Intel was just out there selling chips and taking money and putting it in the bank, or like reinvesting in share buybacks or dividends, or building more fabs and building the future of Intel. I don't care about what the stock price does today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. What I care about is what is Intel going to be worth in 5-10 years. And
let's take the 5-year number.
Okay.
Okay. So 5 years ago, Intel was what, like $42 ish?
You think they're going to go down to $42 in 5 years?
No. 5 years ago, you said that 5 years is a good time frame.
No, I'm saying what do I want to see in 5 years?
Right. So had you said that 5 years ago in Intel, you'd have had like a 25% increase
in share price. I would have gotten my dividends along the way too.
True. You would have gotten dividends.
Yeah, which definitely would have helped offset that.
Yeah. I think AMD was at $4. Now they're at 106.
I know. They've had a tremendous run. They've dominated like the kind of technological, boundary for the last several years. But the point of the matter is, like, when companies that are very profitable, like Intel, are most hated, is when it produces the best investing opportunities to me.
Yeah. See Baba. We're going to do a video.
I know, right? Exactly.
With that being said, all my AMD bulls, it shouldn't be this price. So that's why I sold the call. This is way ridiculous. No way it should be over like 90, in my opinion. So I sold my call. I'm out of my position. I'll buy another call as soon as it comes back down, because this is more euphoria. Because that stock chart's great. It just makes the video look a lot better right now because we happen to just end the quarter. So
I gotcha. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Let us know down and below what you think about this after the second quarter of 2021 earnings, and which one you guys are in or a fan of.
I'll be wrong again. I'll walk away with my money and be wrong. It's okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter now. It matters, several years from now. That's when this counts.
I'll hop on the Intel chain on their upslope.
Okay, that's perfect. Welcome aboard. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in.
Later.